Hey everyone, welcome back. We've got we got a lot to talk about today. This is going to be a busy podcast, but first we have to hold Tim accountable. Did he
Yes,
play Civilization?
yes, I did actually. And there's a lot of first things first. There's been bugs. Obviously, I didn't play at launch. I played just recently, so there's been 3 patches since launch. That's, I guess, good and bad, right? Bad in the sense that it's buggy. Good that they're fixing things fast. Another issue is the people have been complaining about is the UI. I don't think I dislike it. It's not bad by any means. I don't know why people complain because it's different, right? It is definitely, you could tell it's more focused for, it's more compact, more, I guess, console friendly, because this is the first time where Civ, I believe, has been released on day one on console and PCs. We all know these type of games have traditionally always been PC first, built from the ground up, and then ported over. So you guys have to remember these days of, we talked so many times on this podcast about exclusives, etc. Those are things of the past. These games are costing way too much money to make. My first impressions, I can tell I'm going to get hooked, Jared, because I love these type of games. So I know I'm going to get my money's worth. I also traditionally don't usually buy games at full prices. I don't know how many times I've said that, but it has multiplayer. And what's good about I haven't played multiplayer yet. I haven't had time because, like I said, the puppy just went crazy. We had to put him outside so I could record this podcast. Anyways, multiplayer is where I traditionally play. So anything that's multiplayer, I don't mind too much. I'll get my money back. But anyways, first impressions, I like it. People have to also remember they quote unquote it's simpler. Yeah, that might be true. And another thing, they've definitely, from what I've read and talked to and watched, some podcasters, some quote unquote big Civ content creators, they said multiplayer has been sped up, and that's always a good thing because these strategy games tend to be very deep, considerable amount of time. So that's good. What people are complaining about also is it's more simpler, not as many options. That's true. But people have to remember, and I don't know if you've been a Civ fan or any kind of strategy game, the base game is always kind of bland, or not quote bland, but basic. And guess what happens? You get DLCs that improves, and it just gets vastly better over time. And once mod support comes out, that's just a whole different ball game and all together. So people have to remember that. And Civ 6 is how many years old now?
It's
And there's a
old.
tons of content, tons of DLC. So yeah, I'm not worried about it. The base of it is a Civ game. There's some features that are missing. Some of I personally don't mind this, but a lot of people, quote unquote, don't like it for immersion, because before you used to pick your leader of Civ and they would stay together the whole entire game. Now that's not the case. You pick like Benjamin Franklin and he could be ahead of some other civilization. So some people don't really like that. I don't care, man. Change is good. People traditionally want carbon copy of their previous game to the next, and that's, you have to change things up. I do think DLCs will improve. Thinking of DLCs, there's already 2 of them right now. One's 10, one's 30. The $30 one I don't think is really warranted cost. So these microtransactions are kind of concerning, but one good thing about Civ games is you could always get them. Now this one's new, so it's going to be probably 6 months plus before sales. But all the big Steam sales, you always get them at a huge discount. I'm not too concerned, but I don't like seeing $30-$40 worth of DLC, which is good chunk of, plus the deluxe edition, which is 60. So yeah, you're spending a lot of money from day one, but I don't want to go too much in it. I like it. I don't think the UI is that bad personally. I told you this before, Jared. Like every version of Windows and Mac OS should have a new graphical interface. I'm a GUI guy. I love seeing vast improvements. It's like these Windows and Mac don't really change things. I guess the whole notion is if it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't think the UI is that bad. I mean, it's also a personal thing, Jared, because you might love the one from 6 or 5, etc. So I don't know. I do think it's more streamlined. I do think it's more quote unquote console friendly. And I think people on PC, especially the PC side, don't probably particularly care for that. But no, the base game is good. They do need to get some new content out there. I think free content. Traditionally, these type of series always make you pay. Because like right now, certain, like if you want to go for a cultural win, you have to discover 10 wonders or build 10 wonders, and that could, after sinking hundreds of hours or even less, that could get kind of boring, if you have the same objective. So DLC does help change that. Mods will obviously help change that. So I'm not too concerned about that. Right now it's a base game, so traditionally base games are always kind of watered down, and then as it goes. So yeah, but no, I think the game has a lot of potential. I'm gonna definitely enjoy that. I wish if it gets on sale, you should pick it up. We could do some multiplayer. These games are very, very addictive. So if you're a Civ fan, you should like it.
Yeah, so what Tim just said, the reason why I'm not downloading now is it's almost $100 Canadian, and that's too much. That's way too much right now.
Which I broke my golden rule, but I do enjoy multiplayer. So, which is weird, Jared, because before we switch topics, some of people that play these type of games don't like multiplayer. They only like the AI. Like going through campaigns and stories, but they don't understand is AI is always stagnant, right? For the most part, it's always gonna. I mean, these strategy games tend to be a little bit different, but like single player games, you're always gonna face the same boss the same way every single time. With humans, it's way more dynamic, right? Like, oh shoot, why are they doing that? Oh shoot, I wasn't expecting them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why people don't like player versus player, because it's not like these games tend to be toxic. I mean, there's chat. I guess people just don't like dealing with other people.
Yeah, and I think that's it. Like I was reading, you were talking about Monster Hunter the other day, and I was surprised that the number one way people play Monster Hunter is alone.
Yeah, and I don't get that.
It's interesting.
It's so much better. I think if you read, especially a lot of our viewers, no disrespect, but a lot of them are more retro people, so they don't. I don't know. It's just there's two type of people out there, gamers, I should say, the ones that just don't have any interest in multiplayer, and I can understand why, because there's a stigma about toxicity, toxic this and toxic that.
But I mean,
but come on, guys. If someone teabags you in a game, does that really upset you that much?
No, but for me,
I don't.
It's more the. It depends on what type. Like with Monster Hunter, it's a co-op experience where you guys are trying to go out and take on this, thing.
Player versus player is way different. You're right. I can see what you're talking. You shouldn't be toxic in Monster Hunter.
No, yeah, no, but really cool. I was playing the beta before we got on here, but unfortunately, I recorded Dragon Quest this morning, so I was uploading videos, and that takes a pounding on my net. So I got disconnected right as I was in the final. I don't know what the hell his name is, but he's this big, huge blue dragon that's got electricity all over him and stuff. And there were these two other guys, and I was going by, and I joined their session to take him down, and we were getting really close to taking the guy down, and then I DC. So it basically spits you out in solo mode, but the dude gets full health. And so I'm
that's interesting.
Crap.
Okay.
And so I was I'm going to get killed.
Yeah, Monster Hunter is much better with. I mean, single player is good and all. I mean, some portions of it you have to play single player, right? But yeah, to me, it's a co-op game by design, and some people, I don't understand why they just. I guess it could be, people just, like I said, some people just don't like dealing with other people. They don't want to have to rely on others. It can also be frustrating too with a co-op game like Monster Hunter, with Rise and World and all that. You would go and you fight this monster, and your teammates aren't that good, and you keep wiping, and you're like, oh my god, why did they do this? Oh, why aren't they paying attention?
Yeah,
so there is that.
Yeah,
and that can frustrate people.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, 100%. And the other thing is like something that I'm going to struggle with, which is going to be the when to get online. Because if I want to play with you, it's going to be pretty much on the weekends, and then you're going to give me all these excuses of the dog and everything like that.
How dare! Yeah. One of these days, I'm going to have to bring him in and show him on the camera. He's getting big, though. He's much bigger than he was. We won't be able to hold him much longer.
Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, I had a really good time, man. I had a really good time.
Monster Hunter Wilds, though. It's almost out. 12 days.
I know. So I pre-ordered it today. Because
I'm probably gonna do it next week.
Just because I was okay, this is cool. It's cool. So it's cross-platform to play, but your save is local. So that's important to remember. Just for anyone who's
Yeah,
out there.
that's what's and other ones do that too, which is good and bad. I don't think it's gonna be such an issue. I mean, if
No, no,
people
for
cheat,
this,
people
this
cheat.
is not going to
But
be. This is not going to be.
it's just I don't know why. Like I told you, CampCons. Why would they not save it on the cloud? Now, some people don't want that, right? They don't want any online requirements. So, but stuff like this, you'd think that they would be at least have the option to save it online, right? Because there's more prone chance for hacking when it's online, or some online, offline save files. So, I don't really care. It's not going to affect me per se. I've never ran into, at least I never noticed a hacker. But you have to remember, consoles are extremely, which is funny, right? Consoles are extremely closed, so you don't really get hacking on consoles. You can, but not quite as rampant as it is on PC. That's why a lot of console players don't like playing PC. Oh, they're all cheating. Well, yeah, that's the one thing about multiplayer games. Oh, I lost because they're cheating. Oh, you're right. It's called a skill issue a lot of the times. No, there is blatant cheaters on.
Yeah, platform. Of course, man.
But
of course.
I honestly, I play a lot of online games. I haven't seen it too often. I think I saw an Evil Dead the game once or twice, but not that often though, Jared. Yeah, not that often.
Yeah. So anyways, I mean, it's a small little, the beta is just like the opening area type of thing. So I mean,
How do you like it, by the way?
Yeah, really good.
I don't bother with betas for games I know I'm going to buy.
No, it's just if you log in, you're gonna get access to like a bunch of items in the main.
Oh, does
game.
That transition over?
Yeah, well, that's the reward.
Maybe it's worth it
then.
Is it too late? Let me check.
No, it's not too late. All you got to do is get past the character creation screen and it automatically will unlock. You don't even have to play. You can literally just do that and nothing else. And you'll get a whole bunch of items, which will be...
All right, Yeah, it's not too late. I'll do that, Jared, because I didn't realize that they're giving goodies. Because like I told you, with games I buy, I don't bother with beta. The only time I do betas is when I'm on the fence, or like, oh, this looks cool, but I'm not sure. Then
Well, like I say, dude, you don't even need to play. All you got to do is get to the main game. So like, just do the character creation, and you're good enough.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like, that's it. But it's good because like you can trap monsters right away, which normally you'd have to earn those items and stuff. So that's cool that like from the very beginning you can do that. So anyways, no, I mean, it was really good. I'm playing on PlayStation right now, and oh my goodness, you can tell my computer is getting old. That's all I'll say. Like the difference.
I'm kind of curious how it'll run on mine. It should be okay.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be totally fine. My computer is like 6 years old now, man. So it's starting.
Yeah, it's starting. Oh, that's a decent lifespan for it, though.
Well, yeah, and it's still great. It's not. It's only like this, right? Like, and some of the games that we're going to be talking about here now, like some of these, yeah, like there's no way my computer would be chug like going through. But yeah, it was good though to play this on PlayStation to see the difference, if you know what I mean, like compared to like my older PC. Like right away the frame rate was like night and day different. Like,
speaking of which, I have to make a CampCon ID. I don't have a CampCon ID. At least I don't think I do. I don't remember the last CampCon.
Oh, dude, just I don't even think it asked you to do that.
Really? It should for multiplayer, I think. Well, you're probably not there yet. The real one's going to, because you're going to have a CampCon ID, so that way PlayStation, you and I could play. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to invite each other to lobbies. But we'll worry about that later.
Yeah, that's funny. Speaking of which, I'm just thinking, because like the way the lobby system is right now.
What is it, by a code?
No, neither one. It was basically like I went into the lobby and they have like all these, they look like little cards that are just full and you can scroll through. I'll check that out after this.
Okay.
Because I didn't host my own, so I have no idea. I just joined a random one. But anyways, okay guys, so PlayStation had their first state of play this week, and it's really becoming obvious to me anyway that like the console wars and stuff like that, it's all over. Like, they're officially over. This was one of the best / worst announcement video things ever. Why?
Even worse than the massive damage crab. Remember that meme?
Well, this isn't a conference type thing, but like it's bad in the sense that like Sony doesn't need to do anything anymore. So the pressure's off. Like they can just be.
People don't forget that Nintendo gave up on the console race with the Switch. Yeah, it's extremely successful, but it's a hybrid. It's not really in the same market. And even though it's been an extremely successful system, Switch 2 most likely will be a huge hit too. People. That's why, they left the traditional console market with I would say maybe with the Wii.
It was the Wii, yeah. They left it with the Wii.
Or actually, with the Wii, yeah. That's when they decided that they're not going to compete.
Yeah.
And,
guys, like, okay, so, like, every time I hear, like, that, it's like, okay, well, they still have a console. So technically, yes, there's still...
Yes, it's still in it,
But, yeah, it's just different in the sense where, like, before you had the boxes that were all trying to, push the envelope in graphics
or
audio,
yeah.
So that's kind of what we're saying. So I'll start with the bad, if you will. And the bad is really based on your own perception, right? So Sony, over the last, 5-6 years, 10 years, whatever, they really have cemented their place as, like, one of the best developers or publishers, I guess, in the world for single player content. Like, it's unbelievable. Their story driven stuff has been, everything from Uncharted, The Last of Us to, like, all their, like, what was that called? Not Dark Souls. That's the other one. I can't remember what the hell there is. Anyways, they've had nothing but success on their single player stuff. I know, like, they had a colossal failure with their live service game, and I think that scared the crap out of them. That they're basically like, okay, we're going all in on single player, and that's it.
Well, we've had that discussion. The problem with live services, it's not as easy as these companies think. Look at Suicide Squad. That was an utter disaster, and it's just the thinking of the multiverse or that Warner Brothers Smash. We talked about Smash Brother clone that's shutting down. So these companies want the Fortnite and Quick Dollar, and they don't. Well, Fortnite's one of the premium live service games that have been a huge hit. There's a lot more, but they think it's just easy money, man, and it's not. There's a lot. And that's, I would love if we ever could get interviews with these studios that failed and just say, did you do your homework? They have to, right? They have to.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with a combination of factors. Like, I do genuinely think there's a lot of business suits in there that should not be making those types of decisions. And then sometimes it's just luck. Like, sometimes it doesn't, it doesn't connect. Like, you have a good game, but maybe it's like the setting is off. Sometimes, like, the timing of the release is off and everything. I never played Concord, so I have no idea, but it looked generic as hell. Like, from the trailers, it looked generic. But anyway. So I say this is bad news, or like the bad news, or that, like, this state of play was like one of the best, but one of the worst. It's not. There was nothing bad about it per se, but you can really tell Sony doesn't need to try anymore. Because if you rewind the clock a number of years, they were pushing their first party stuff like crazy. And for decades, they have said that was Nintendo's secret sauce. Is like, you make the games that no one else can. Right? Like the very essence of the exclusive experience was kind of like what they were saying. And I love going back and watching videos from like 1995, 1996, when they were first starting off and they're being arrogant and they were crazy. Like, they really were a bunch of nomad rogues, like nuts, man. Like, the stuff that they approved and they allowed to get made, some of it was just nuts, like just batshit crazy. And over the years, they've publicly, stated that this, like, that really was the secret that Nintendo had. Was like, you would make games that were yours. No one else, like, could take them. You'd have all your third parties and stuff, but these were really yours. And they really started to embrace that when the Xbox 3, I mean, they did in PS1, and they tried, like, they did some stuff in PS2. If you think of, like, the Mark of Cree, Ico, like, all those types of games. Even before that with Legend of Dragoon, that was around the time That was around the time when they started that. But I think it was like during the PS3 when it really came to a forefront, when they realized that like the Xbox 360 was just killing it. And it was like, okay, we really have to become Nintendo for the long-term viability of our company. And so when I watch a state of play like this, it kind of feels like the PS2 all over again. Where like they don't really need to try, if you know what I mean. Like every one of the games that were announced, or we're gonna go through them, but just about every single one of these games is PC and Xbox day and date.
See, that's good. It's good.
But it's
that means that, like you said, I don't have to wait.
yeah, no, and it's all good. It is all good. Like seriously, we're gonna go through some of these games, man. Some of them are absolutely incredible. But it's just
like Days Gone. Like I told you, they're getting a remaster of that. And I have the other one. I have to play it still.
I'm just curious to see where we go, because you never want to have one company not have competition. Like I want to make sure that we still get some, like, you know, some good stuff out of Sony itself, because they do have some incredible developers. But anyway, let's get started. So normally Tim reads you all of these captions.
Yeah, you do that because I'm not much of a PlayStation person.
But none of these are PlayStation games. That's my point.
Oh yeah, there you go. Now
that's exactly my point. Yeah. So hopefully, but knowing Tim, he didn't watch any of this.
No, it didn't.
But you should, because like I said, these are all like PC games. So they started off just talking a little bit about Monster Hunter Wilds. It's no doubt that this is going to be huge. The beta passed 258,000 concurrent players on Steam, which that's a lot for a beta, man. Like that's a lot. So yeah, really cool. Like, I mean, I've got mine pre-ordered. I just said I was playing the beta. Depending on how long this goes, I will go back.
Before we go to the list, you said you found the weapon. Which one is it?
Yeah, so I went to the so like in the beginning of the game, I don't even know their names and stuff. I was more interested in monster hunting than the characters. Like she tells you like, oh, go to the practice arena type thing, and it's basically just like there's like a barrel that you can beat the snot out of. And so I was messing around, and I finally started to recall what I like. So I've always been the type of player like Diablo. Who do you play in Diablo? Who's your main?
Oh, I used to play the Necro and Druid.
See? Okay, I was always the rogue. I always like being further back so that I can pick off like enemies from afar. So I was like, why don't I just do that? Like, why don't I get like, you know, like the low bow gun or something like that? Not. I don't want the heavy one, because that takes too. It's more like defensive and stuff like that. I don't want that. I want to be the guy that while you're up there getting smashed to hell, I'm basically circling the monster and picking it off slowly but surely. Man, I had so much fun. I had so much fun doing that. I got an S ranking on the first monster I took down, so I was like, okay, like, yeah, this is going to be fun. Something else really cool is you can ride your little bird dude while you're picking them off. So if you need to get out, you just put your weapon away and take off if you need to get out of there quickly. So I was like, okay, I'm like, this is going to be fun. Like this is going to be interesting. So I pre-ordered the game today. Can't wait. We got what, like a week and a half or something like that? 2 weeks?
12 days as of today.
So there you go. 12 days. I'm going to try, I'm going to cycle between the two games, because Monster Hunter, I'll go through the campaign. Like I'll do the campaign. That's usually
That'll take you 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very short.
Yeah. And then the rest is going to be based on you, right? Like to see if we can actually get online. So while I'm waiting, I'll probably be going through Avowed. Really weird Avowed.
Yes,
it got like, the first reviews were like, it's okay, but now more and more
You're
reviews.
starting to get better reviews.
Yeah, they're starting to get better. So I was like, okay, cool. And it's on Game Pass, so no matter what, I was going to check it out. but I was just like, my hype level was starting to go down when I started to hear like, it's okay. I was like, man, because I would love that. Have a nice single player RPG and then have Monster Hunter on the side. And Monster Hunter, I can keep going for a long time after. So that was the first one. We all know that. And the second game was the announcement trailer. We knew this was coming, but we didn't really get any details. I forget what, I don't even remember where this was. I don't know if it was at a direct or if it was a state of play or an Xbox. I have no idea. But Sega, you saw these two people sitting on a sofa and they were like, they got like sucked into an arcade or something like that. And then all these names started flashing. It was like Crazy Taxi's coming back, Shinobi's coming back, like all of these.
Yeah, I can't wait. Crazy Taxi was such a great. I played, I don't know how many. I even played it in the arcade.
Me too, man.
It was an arcade game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I loved it. It was pretty much arcade perfect, if I remember.
Yeah,
right.
of course.
Dreamcast was virtually identical to the arcade. At the time.
It was the Naomi architecture.
Yeah. And I loved that game. I remember it was a little risque back in the day. I don't know if they're going to keep some of that. I don't think so, especially with everything was a little bit more political correct. But I could be wrong, but I played that game so much. But if you remember, every time you picked up an African American customer or driver, they'd always say, "Take me to KFC." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that would have been a little bit of racism back.
Oh
in the
yeah,
day,
man, there was racism, sexism.
Oh, it was racist. Stuff,
oh yeah,
man.
like
and I was like, wow, but I don't think that'll be the today.
No, of course, no. Today it'll be more. It'll still be like a crazy, sort of thing, but it won't be like that.
But it's funny because people are too sensitive. It was a joke, I think. I don't think they were intentionally being racist. It's just a joke, and it made me laugh when I first saw that. Oh my god, I can't believe they did that. And then, but now it's like people like friggin' do death threats, but it's good. Thinking of before we go, Sega's making some new Sonic games. That Sonic Racing I showed you, dude. What do you think about that?
Well, wait, man. Hold on.
Oh, we're jumping guns here.
Hold on. I want to see what that was. Okay, so they also showed Golden Axe, Virtua Fighter, and Jet Set Radio. Those were all the games that
wow, these are some retro stuff coming. Well, especially Golden Axe. Have they even done anything with that since the initial release? I don't think.
Well, initial release, it died. I think it came back on PS2, if I recall correctly,
as a remaster or something. Yeah,
it was a 3D sort of thing. Anyways, whatever. Good. So those 5 like series or something like that. So what did I just say? It was Virtua Fighter, it was Golden Axe. What was the other one I just said? Jet Set Radio, Crazy Taxi, and Shinobi. Those were the ones that like they showed quickly, but we got our very first full trailer for Shinobi Art of Vengeance. And I gotta say, it looks fantastic. I already wishlist this on Steam. This is a perfect type of game for like the Steam Deck type of thing. Take it on the go, play it on your PC, whatever. It's all like cell shaded, looks incredible, like looks absolutely amazing. And it's done by the guys that did Streets of Rage 4, which was an excellent game. So yeah. So it comes out August 28th. So I actually have to write that down.
Yeah, that's going to be really good. And it's also good to see Sega starting to. They have such a huge library of IPs they just don't use. It looks like they're finally going. Like that, guys. Look up also Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
You are killing me by. Okay, so Tim sucks at this. So let's just keep going. Because the next thing that I'm going to talk about is Sonic Racing.
Perfect. Well, I want to see if you're going to talk about another Sonic game. Was it even announced or talked about?
Well, no. So this is it for Sega. So this one, there's a closed network test that you can take part of if you're interested on February 21st. But yeah, so basically it's Sonic Racing, right? If you know the series, you know what to expect. So it was hilarious. So as this is going on, Tim's texting me this game. Of all the games I'm going to like talk about, this is the one you text me. I was dying of laughter.
What? Which one?
The Sonic Racing. It was just so funny that that's the
well,
game of
yeah.
all the games that get announced.
Dude, because it's going to be awesome, especially with Mario Kart 9 coming out. And the Crossworlds gimmick is where the leader has two choices of which the next course. So it'll select a course and seamlessly transition to that course, and then you go back to the original course. So that's kind of an interesting mechanic. So I could see some competitive edge. Like if you're really good on said course, you might be able to dominate. Or if the other leader picks a course you're bad at, etc. Yeah, because those type of games are going to be a lot of fun. But also, I told you about Sonic Rumble, which is a 32-player Mario party game. It's going to be interesting to see how that 32 players is a lot, man. I don't know if they're going to be able to make that successful. They're probably going to have a lot of bots, unless it's a huge hit. But it's going to be free to play, so I believe so. It might be okay.
All right. The next one that got announced is Digimon Storytime Stranger.
Yeah.
It's coming out in 2025, again, for all consoles. Pretty much everything I'm mentioning here is PC, Xbox. Some of it's on Switch. Almost everything will be on Switch too.
Yeah. You see, Jared, we talked about this earlier. It's well, quote unquote rumor, but we know it's probably the truth. Nintendo's not allowing anyone to say upcoming games are on Switch 2 yet. And I don't think that's smart. That's free advertising, man. I don't know why they're so... Why does it bother them that, no, we want to say it? Nintendo and their control freak habits.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Okay, the next game is a game that Ahmed talked about.
What is Ahmed looking forward to? Does he even play games anymore?
Yeah, of course. We talk all the time
he's
about
a doctor, though, right?
But he's playing with his kids. He's got 2 kids.
Oh, there we go. That's why.
So he's been trying so hard to finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, but it's tough. When you got little kids
he
running
has a
around.
family. He's a doctor. He doesn't have time for that.
That's it. So anyways, okay. So I'm really sorry, guys, if I butcher this, okay? Because Ahmed did tell me the story, but I don't remember exactly the details. But if I'm not mistaken, it's like a small team, or even one dude, but I think it was a small team. We're working on this like action game that just looked really, really cool. It's funny. It looks like the sequel to Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, what's the name of the game, though?
It's called Lost Soul Aside, and it looks awesome. Apparently the team spoke with the developer. Sony spoke with the developer, and then they just gave him like a buttload of money. And we're like,
oh yeah,
go for it. But it looks like Square Enix level polish in like a Devil May Cry type of, I don't know if it's a Lost Souls type game, but it looks really, really good. So check that out. That one's not Xbox, I don't think. I think that one's only PlayStation and PS5, but whatever. Then they talked a little bit about Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. If you pick this game up and you join Sega's, I don't know what the hell it is. It's like their network. It's basically what you were talking about for Capcom. So that like all your games and stuff like that and achievements and everything are all connected through everything. You can actually unlock some goodies for that game. Next was Dave the Diver.
Dave the Diver is very popular, by the way.
Yeah, so it's here. It basically gets Yakuza DLC type of thing. Yep. So whatever. Then there was WWE 2K25, all about the island. I am not.
That's not coming for PC. It looks like weird. At least it hasn't been added to Steam yet.
No, that one, no. Yeah, it says coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And I gotta say, guys, if you only have a PS4, not too shabby, right?
But it's still being supported to this day.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, that machine is freaking old. I don't know exactly how good
it'll probably be. By the way, the island reminds me of Street Fighter 6. You know, Street Fighter 6 has that. I was like, oh, okay, now we see what they're doing. And it was been extremely successful for Capcom. So, more props to them. Man, I used to like wrestling games. My pro wrestling was still my favorite wrestling game of all time. Remember that game, Pro Wrestling on NES? Oh, great game. Of course, the cheesy, NES graphics. But I've always liked wrestling games back in the day, but I haven't played one for years. It's because I don't know. They just to me they're not as fun as they used to be. I think they should be more on the arcade-ish side rather than the quote unquote realistic side. But I don't know. That's me.
Well, me, I have no interest whatsoever.
Yeah, me either.
Then they talked about Borderlands 4, and they were saying...
Oh, that's going to be a huge hit, dude.
They were saying how, like, they're going to have their own state of play coming up, like, later on. But the game's coming out on September 22nd for all the different platforms. So if you're into Borderlands... Never got into Borderlands for any... I don't know why.
You should. It's a good game. It's a looter shooter kind of thing, but it's really good humor and stuff like that.
Yeah, just never. I don't know why. It just never. I don't know. Maybe timing.
Maybe it'll be on Game Pass, so you could finally get to check it out.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe, but I doubt it. Okay, next one was Split Fiction. So Split Fiction is a 2-player co-op game that what was it? It Takes Two or something like that.
Yeah.
It's from the makers of that, and this looks really good, man. Like check the trailer for that. The only thing is,
let me look it up.
You really do have to have like a co-op player, right? Like it's perfect for like two people, like friends, to go through the game together. But it looked really good for what it is. It looked pretty cool. And then my boys are back, man, and this looks really good too. So, what was it? The Quarry, Until Dawn, like those horror, like
the ones they made the casting of Frank Stone.
They've got a new game called Directive 8020. Basically, It's Alien. It's the best way.
That looks good. I added it to my wish list.
Where is it? Directive. Because any of these I'm actually gonna add. I didn't realize there was a release date.
They do a really good. They do a really good job with their games. They're like it's super massive games, by the way. They did the casting of Frank Stone. I thought they did a really good job. I wonder the sales of that. I don't know if it did that well though, man.
I don't know. Well, they're clearly doing well because they've got a lot of games they've been releasing after.
Oh yeah, but the casting of Frank Stone was a collaboration. It wasn't really quote unquote it was their game, but it was licensed to them. It wasn't that they had it's not their own IP, etc. like that. So I don't know if it was successful for them because, I mean, I wish you could. We need to find out sales of games, man, from a reliable site. Does Steam release that? I think they do, right?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
But anyways, we'll have to figure that out later. But yeah,
anyway,
Supermassive Games, they do an excellent work with the horror genre. Their games are usually very heavily story driven, which is cutscenes. It's not for everyone. Some people love it, some people don't. But yeah, they've been extremely successful, and this one looks like it's going to be a winner.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, it looks really good, and they stayed on sort of like the creepy vibe with Five Nights at Freddy's, Secret of the Mimic, and if you've played one of these games and you know exactly what to expect, it comes out in the summer on June 13th. And then again, this is probably going to be the scariest game I've ever played. The next one they announced. It's called The Midnight Walk. I have not a phobia, but claymation freaks me out. Like it's always.
No, it's out in May, by the way.
Yeah, it's always freaked me out. So the only thing with this that has us a little bit, and I say us, like the community, a little, is it looks like it's a first-person shooter. So
yeah.
I'm not sure because it's also part of PlayStation VR. So I'm not sure. Anyways,
Dude, it looks awesome.
It's just like I say, it's gonna scare the living bejesus out of me because like something about claymation, it's the stop and go sort of stuff kind of makes me feel, I don't know, weird. Anyway, the next one was a surprise that came out of nowhere for me, and that is Darwin's Paradox. You play as like a little octopus, It's all 3D backgrounds and stuff, but it's a 2D. It looks like a Metroidvania game, but I'm not 100% sure. But it's by Capcom. It's by Konami, and I gotta say, I'm very, very, very happy. Like, good for you. Like, I want to see Konami getting back in the game and starting to do stuff. And so this is just a cute little 2D game that looks great. It looks absolutely great. It's called Darwin's Paradox. It's on Steam. I already have it on my wish list. So
yes, I see it.
Next, we've got Warriors Abyss. So this is basically like the Dynasty Warriors / Hades sort of mashup. So if you've played Hades, you know what to expect. It's a totally different sort of way to play a Warriors game, but it looks pretty cool. And again, it's on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, and it actually dropped that day, like the day of the announcement. So I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Onimusha 2 Samurai's Destiny will be released on May 23rd. And this is just like a remaster of Onimusha 2. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Always cool to have those games back in action. I was a big fan of Onimusha on the PS2 when it originally hit. And speaking of Onimusha, we got our first real look at Onimusha Way of the Sword. That's
Way of the Sword
coming out in 2026, and I am so happy that Capcom is doing this. I'm really, really happy. If I could get Konami to do what Capcom's doing right now, I swear I'd be like the happiest guy in the world, because those two companies have always been some of my favorite third parties. So next.
Back to Darwin's, though. Konami's just a publisher.
Yeah. It doesn't matter, though, right? Like, it's under the Konami umbrella.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's good. And speaking of Konami, they showed Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. And so that's coming out on August 28th. It all got leaked, so no surprises there. But it just looks sick. Like, it really, really looks sick. Super excited to play that. And then the next couple are really, truly PC games, to be really honest. They feel like PC games. So the first is Hell Is Us. This was announced a little while ago. I have a feeling this is like a Souls-like game. I'm going to write this September 4th, 2025. I'm just keeping track of these things of when they're actually coming out. This one looks great. Check it out. It's your standard hack and slash action game, but I have a feeling that this is going to be more in the Dark Souls sort of vein. I think. I could be totally wrong. Lies of P is getting sort of a prequel. Now this, I don't know. If you look it up on Steam, Lies of P Overture, it shows up as DLC. So I'm not entirely sure what the heck.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because the little caption says it's a prequel to Lies of P, but is it like its own
maybe his DLC
game
then.
or I don't know. It's I don't know. So anyways, no idea. No release date was announced. Then we got
my wish list continues to grow. Thank you, dude.
You're welcome. Then we've got, this is for you, man. This is for you, so Tim likes some very strange games. So
oh, wow.
This is definitely for you. So it's called Dreams of Another. And it's basically
Dreams of Another, right?
Yeah, it's from Pixel Junk. It looks highly creative. And it's basically the world's first third-person shooter where you don't shoot to kill, you shoot to build. And
Dreams of Another?
Yeah, I don't think it's been wishlisted yet anyway.
No, it's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, well. That's sad. Here, let me look it up on Google.
Yeah, because
interests me.
But yeah, no, but it's a highly unique game. When I first saw it, I was like, what is happening? So, yeah. Okay, let's keep going, because there's a lot of games here, man. Days Gone Remastered, you spoiled that earlier.
Yeah, which is interesting. because I do have that my queue to play, but I will play it. It's my coworker told me it's one of the best games he's played. So we're interested to see if that lives up to the hype. But now maybe I should get the remaster. Nah, the one I have is free.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It's just that this one will just play a little bit better, right? That's all. Stellar Blade and the Goddess of Victory Nikki DLC. It's because they're talking about it coming on PC. So if you want a good action game, Stellar Blade was outstanding. Then they've got a game that I have no idea what the hell it is. You can check it up on Steam. It was called Blueprints. And it was described as a genre-bending, atmospheric, architectural adventure where you explore an ever-changing manner of 45 shifting rooms. I was like, no idea what this is. And next up, we have Abiotic Factor. This is another one. No clue what the heck this thing is. It's actually in early access right now on Steam. And it's coming to console this summer, but...
I have that. Wait, which one is it?
It's called... I don't know if you pronounce it like this, but it's Abiotic Factor. ABIOTIC.
Yeah, that's been... that was released in May.
Yeah,
it's early access though.
Yeah, that's what I just said. So it's in early access and whatever.
Good game, by the way. Really good game.
So what is
it?
Coming to what exactly is it?
It's a survival crafting game, but it's kind of you move from one area, you have to survive to move to the next. You're basically it's in Australia. It's like an Australian developer too. So some hidden compound. They opened up portal. I don't want to ruin it, but they basically opened up portals to a different dimension, and these monsters got into our world, and they want to know what happened to this underground facility. Yeah, really good game.
Okay.
I'm waiting for it. Extremely overwhelmingly positive reviews, by the way. Really good game. I played it with a friend for I don't know how many hours did I play it. I played a good amount, but we stopped because we're waiting for. Well, it was supposed to be fully come out of early access in fall, October timeframe, and it didn't. But they were going to release the whole entire game, so we're like, well, why are we playing it now when we could? Since it was supposed to be a 6-month early access thing. So yeah, unfortunately, it didn't quite do its thing. But yeah, I played good 8 hours before we decided to wait for it to be officially released, because the thing about early access games, and I think it's a curse and a blessing. One, you get to see how it goes, but a lot of these games, man, like this one is not. It has a progression, and then you're kind of done with it. I don't think it's going to have. I mean, there'd be mod support. Maybe you could do some customization for it, but it's like once you play through it and get through the story and all that, I don't think you're going to revisit it. So that's why we decided to let's stop it now, wait until it's complete, then we'll play through it all and then be done with it. But no, it's a really good game. I can't wait to get back into it.
So the next announcement was the big one for me. This is the one, and not just me, the whole community. It's called Tides of Annihilation.
I saw that.
This looks incredible. All right. This looks absolutely incredible. It's got it feels like Devil May Cry put in Uncharted's world in other words, you're going to be, running around doing the climbing and stuff, but it has the action of Devil May Cry. It looks like one of the most beautiful looking games I've ever seen in my life. The graphics are just ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks really good. And it's on your wish list too.
The story is where I'm like, this is right up my alley, man. It's basically in it's not a fall of the world. It's not quite that, but it takes place in London, and it's Arthurian. So it's all about the Knights of the Round Table, and you control all of the knights in this quasi-futuristic destroyed everything. It looks, guys, just trust me. Tides of Annihilation, Google this, watch the 11-minute gameplay video.
It looks really, really good. Unfortunately, there's no release date.
No, yeah, this is definitely going to be probably 2026. Although the 11-minute video that they put together really makes it look like it's ready. Yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah, it looks really does.
Good. I think it's gonna be good. It's interesting, different take on that myth story, fantasy story too. It's a action fantasy game. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Dude, man, I hope some of these games come on Game Pass because I'd love to
Well,
have day one releases.
I would
But I don't
love
know.
that. I would love that too, but I don't think so. But what's really cool with this is like you can always tell when something resonates with people, and like this is going to be a big game. Like I can
Oh
already
yeah, I
tell
know.
you this is
That
going to be
should.
a big game because they just opened their social media and they have like hundreds of thousands of people following them already. Whenever I see that, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a big hit for these guys. Even if, it's short or any of this, like it's still going to be a big hit. So the last couple of games, we got Metal Eden, which is a sci-fi first-person shooter. No details. When they originally showed it, I actually Ahmed thought it was Marathon, but
Marathon.
yeah, from Bungie.
Oh, it's coming out in May actually.
Is it this one?
May 6th, yeah.
Let me see.
Based on Steam, that's what it said. Ooh, it looks. Ooh, a sci-fi. I love sci-fi. Ooh, it does look like. I can see what he's
Yeah, well,
talking
the
about
the
that.
bloody logo, dude. I thought it was Destiny because it's the same. It's the same thing. Anyways, next up, check out Mind's Eye. So this,
Mind's Eye.
yeah, Mind's Eye. M
Oh, it's one
I
word.
N
Okay.
D E S E Y E. So, this is another one. Like, I'm not sure. Is this third or first person?
Single player. It looks like it is first person. Yeah, it's definitely a first person shooter. It's an story driven action adventure thriller set in the fictional near future Americana. We're interested, it says Americana. The best in the class cinematics, high octane driving, and explosive combat from legendary director. All right, so it looks really good. And yeah, it has driving. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, this one. So Mind's Eye and Metal Eden, I need to see a little bit more. Like, to be honest, I just need to see more because I wasn't like, I just need to find out more. So for me, the two biggest ones were Tides of Annihilation and Lost. What the hell was it called? Well, Onimusha looks awesome. What was it called? What was it called? It was right at the beginning. Lost Soul Aside. That too. That's another one that like everyone won't stop talking about. But Tides of Annihilation was clearly the big one. And then they end the show. So if you guys remember, the last of play they had, or last big one they had, Ghost of Yotai was announced, right? The sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, which, dude, you got to play that if you haven't played that. That is incredible. It's on Steam, so there's no excuse. So they seem to do this now, where they end with one of their first party sort of titles. And this time, and I knew it right away, I was talking with Ahmed and I was like, this is the sequel to Returnal. Because House Marquee, Housemark is coming back with a sequel to the gameplay of Returnal. So if you never played that, it's a game where you basically die constantly, but you come back. It's actually like in the story that you come back and you learn. It's a 3D bullet hell shooter, but you're like, how do I explain this? It's like an FPS type of thing. You know what I mean? Or is it? No, I think it's third. I think it's third person. But anyway, the point is, imagine like the old shmups, but like a bullet hell shooter. We got bullets like all over you trying to dodge, and there's like this one little corner you just stay in and whatever. And so they're making, it's not a sequel to that game, but it's like a continuation of their gameplay, and it's called Saros. And so that will definitely be a 2026 game, something like that. And there you go. That was everything announced. So of everything I just told you, like what? 2 games, 3 games are not coming day and date to PC. That's crazy, the world we live in, man.
Yep, and it's good because I'm not going to buy a PlayStation to play.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, it really is wild, like, what we're living in. So that's pretty much everything I had. I don't know if you wanted any closing comments, because it's already 55 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're good. Like I said, Civ 7, I enjoying what I'm seeing so far. I can see what people are complaining about, that they don't like how your leader changes civilization. You know, people talk about aversions. I'm not so against it, but I can understand it. Like, if you, again, you choose Benjamin Franklin, he's the leader of you know, an Asian civilization, or Egyptians, etc. That doesn't really make sense, but it is what it is. The bare bone game. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy it, but I don't see the big huss about the UI. Other than that, that's pretty much it, man.
All right, well, guys, we'll catch you next week. We'll see what news breaks this week. Take care, everyone.